Today my presentation is about the notion of collaborative AI for knowledge building. In my research, I'm pretty much interested in the idea of collaborative AI that is fundamentally about enabling better human-to-human collaboration and human-to-AI collaboration. And today I would like to share with you one of the examples that we're currently developing, that's called Idea Constellation Map. Wonderful. Okay, so this is a screenshot of Knowledge Forum. And each little box here represents one student idea. As Bodong talked about this earlier, students often use Knowledge Forum to engage in knowledge building. So this enables, for example, students across geographic regions to engage in collective knowledge building together. So this view is actually from one class in Toronto, Canada, and one class in Tarragona, Spain. So as you see, students get very enthusiastic about, I think here students investigating on recycling and really building onto one another's idea. But at the same time, you imagine yourself as a teacher or student. This space is quite messy and entangled, and very quickly you kind of lose sight of where we are as a community. So knowledge building requires both an inward view, that means to really understand where we are, what is the state of our current community knowledge, as well as an outward view, because if we're serious about knowledge building, that is to advance real knowledge in the world and empower students as legitimate knowledge builders, we need to bridge the gap between our classroom discourse to the cutting-edge world knowledge that's currently, for example, being explored by real-world scientists. So this is where the idea constellation map comes in. We're trying to transform a messy, entangled knowledge building space into a dynamic and interactive visualization that's powered by generative AI to enable students to better make sense of a busy knowledge space. So I'm going to kind of walk you through each of the design features here. The first one is to give students a bird's eye view of their internal knowledge. So where we are as a community, what is the state of community knowledge? So students can quickly look at the big clusters, which I call constellations, that's emerging from their knowledge building space in the backdrop, like a night sky. So every node here represents a star. So which represents one student idea. So this tool enables students to zoom into a particular idea to really see what that idea is about, as well as visualizing the connections. So students don't lose the detail while they are having such a bird's eye view, so pretty much working like a telescope. The third design feature is being able to uncover these hidden connections. Because right now in Knowledge Forum, unless someone directly built onto my idea, I can see the connection. Or unless I take the time to explore the entire knowledge space, I don't always see connection between my idea and someone else's ideas. So this feature allows students to uncover some of the hidden connections using semantic similarity. That means even another student is sharing an idea or building an idea that's not directly related to my node, I will be able to pick this up. Last but not least, I talk about this need for an outward projection, being able to bridge community knowledge with cutting-edge world knowledge. So here, students are able to identify research articles in the area of their investigation and overlay that research article, ideas extract from a research article directly onto their community knowledge. So they're able to see what is alignment and misalignment and what the connection between my idea and what the real world scientists. It's very, very dramatic because, real world scientists. So students actually take on this identity, being a legitimate knowledge creator. I'm not just writing these notes and building this idea as a class activity. There's real connection between what I'm doing and what the scientists are doing in the real world. So then you might ask me, Lydia, why all of this? Why can't you just feed all of that student notes into a large language model and they generate a summary, you give it to students, and then they know exactly what's happening in the community? There are main issues here. The first is the black box issue of large language models. We don't really know why AI prioritizes one idea in this context, but in another time prioritize another idea. The second idea, probably is the key idea, is the removal of student epistemic agency. When AI generated a seemingly nice summary for students are not actually doing the work to make sense of this knowledge space. They are not making the judgment. They are not making the decisions. So we want to put student epistemic agency back into the space, but it's empowered by AI. So students are working with AI to make sense of knowledge building space and to advance their ideas rather than having AI to drive their inquiry forward. So how does this hold in real world? Again, this is a pilot we conducted between 2 classrooms in Toronto and Tarragona, Spain. As you see, another very busy knowledge forum view, and we give students this idea constellation map to help them to visualize their ideas. What we found afterwards, after students use this tool, they engage in another move which we usually don't see in knowledge building, is this deepening of inquiry. So after students have used the constellation map, they initiate this deepening of distilling 7 emerging themes from their knowledge building discourse, and they went deeper. So here's one example. As you see here, student investigating one of the themes was mushroom for cooking. And grade 1 student in Toronto actually started growing their own mushroom, creating their mushroom tea to deepening their inquiry. Last but not least, we need to talk about assessment. This might look all wonderful. What about assessment? We know assessment drives education, not the other way around. So here, we see knowledge building community much like an ecosystem. Every single organism in the ecosystem play a critical role, and even though they are playing different roles. So we need students to play different roles as they advance their knowledge together. There's no ideal profile of a knowledge builder or knowledge creator. Everyone needs to be complementary. So what we are right now developing is this collaborative metrics to capture these diverse forms of contribution in the knowledge building community, not to try to profile students, say, oh, you are like an idea diversifier, you always contribute a lot of idea, but help students to understand their patterns of contribution so they are more intentional and conscious of what was their knowledge building style, and they can venture out into another form of contribution. And we're currently co-designing this with students, and students giving us plenty of ideas on how this tool can serve their knowledge building journey. That's everything I have to share.